Welcome to my tutorial on the Magic the Gathering deck called Eggs. Now, Eggs is a combo deck that revolves around artifacts that you sacrifice in order to draw cards. Cards like Chromatic Sphere and Acre Wellspring. Now, I've already drawn a hand, so we're good to go right now, because you don't really want to see a video of me drawing mulligans for 10 minutes. Trust me, it's not pretty. Now when I look at my opening hand, I'm looking for about 2 lands and some amount of our key artifacts, which is what we've got, so hopefully this is a pretty good hand. Let's see what we can do with it. Turn 1, we don't draw. I always pretend that I'm on the play, because that extra card could give us a bit of an advantage in a combo deck. So I want to make sure that I can win without that advantage. Darksteel Citadel. Tap the Citadel. Yeah, actually we don't need to tap the Citadel. Alright, turn 2. Now we'll drop a Glimmer Void and tap both of them for Prophetic Prism, one of our eggs. We draw a card. That's all we can do right now, so turn 3. Turn 3. Now, we don't have a land this turn, so we're going to do some digging. Tap 1 for Chromatic Sphere. Tap the second one, and tap the sphere, sacrifice it, which lets us draw a card. And it's a land. We're in luck. Urza's Mine. Now, we don't have anything in our hand that costs 1, so that's the end of turn 3. Turn 4. Now, the first few turns go a lot like this, where you're sacrificing artifacts and drawing cards. Basically, you're trying to get to 4 lands, and then you can start to go off. Now, we don't, again, have a 4th land, so we're going to do some more digging. 1, 2, Acre Wellspring. Acre Wellspring is one of our key cards because it draws a card when it hits the battlefield and when it hits the graveyard. So we draw a card. And we've got our land. So with any luck, we can go off on turn 5. Right now, we have 2 unopened lands, untapped lands. So we're going to tap them and play another Prophetic Prism. You guessed it, drawing a card. Alright, now, turn 5. Hopefully, the winning turn. Untap, and draw. Now, we are lucky enough that we've drawn the 3 Urza lands, which most people call the Urzatron. Urza's Mine, Urza's Power Plant, and Urza's Tower. With these 5 lands, we have access to 9 mana, which is more than enough to cast what we need. So we'll tap the Mine and the Power Plants for 4 mana and cast Carcon Networks. Now, what we need is 6 mana, 4 colorless mana, and 2 white mana. So, we start sacrificing artifacts. Acre Wellspring. And when Acre Wellspring goes to the graveyard, you draw a card. That's 2 mana. We have lands untapped here. So we'll tap Urza's Tower, which gives us 3 mana, giving us a total of 5 mana. We'll tap Darksteel Citadel, and the 2 Prophetic Prisms, giving us the 4 white that we need. Now, 4 white gives us Open the Vaults. Now what Open the Vaults does is Open the Vaults returns the artifacts that we've sacrificed back into play. Acre Wellspring and Chromatic Sphere. Now since Acre Wellspring hit the battlefield, we get to draw yet another card. Sacrifice to KCI for 2 mana. Sacrifice to KCI, 4 mana, 6 mana, and another card. Now with that 6 mana, we're going to cast 2 Terrarians and float the mana. Float the last 4 mana. Remember, we've got 4 mana floating. Alright. Sacrifice to KCI. We have 6 mana, 1 more card. Sacrifice to KCI. We have 8 mana and another card. And now, with our 8 mana, we're going to cast another Acre Wellspring. Draws the card. Sacrifice it, getting us back to 8 mana. And this Glimmer Void, which I left untapped just for this circumstance. I'm going to tap it to make 8 and a white. So we have 9 mana. Faith's Reward brings our artifacts back, but only the artifacts that we sacrificed this turn. But that's our entire graveyard, so we're good to go. 2 Terrarians, another Acre Wellspring, and 2 Prophetic Prisms. Alright, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 artifacts. It's not quite enough to go off yet, so we're going to keep drawing cards. Now, one cool trick that you can do with this deck is with Darksteel Citadel. If it's tapped, there's not much we can do with it, right? Well, not quite. It's an artifact, so we can sacrifice it to KCI, giving us 2 mana. And since it's an artifact, it'll come back the next time we Faith's Reward or Open the Vaults. And it'll come back untapped. Now, 2 mana, and 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. 2 mana, 4 mana, 6 mana. 8 mana. Terrarian draws us a card. 10 mana. Terrarian draws us a card. 12 mana. Baker Wellspring draws us a card. 14 mana. Baker Wellspring draws us a card. Chromatic Sphere, 16 mana. And while we were drawing all these cards, we drew one of our win conditions. Ladies and gentlemen, Emrakul, the Eon's Torn. So what Emrakul does is gives us an extra turn, which is pretty cool because that means it won't have summoning sickness and it can attack right away. So we have nothing much left to do this turn. So we'll begin our second turn, our Emrakul turn. Untap, 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 untap. Now, the Urzatron gives us access to 7 mana. We used to have 9 mana, but that Darksteel Citadel is going to sit in the graveyard for a bit. 3 mana for Urza's Tower. 2 mana from Urza's Power Plant. And 2 mana from Urza's Mine. Glimmer Void will give us red mana. And that is enough for Banefire for 7. Why 7? Well, because we're about to attack for 15 and finish off our opponent.